Hi, good afternoon, everyone. This is Tina Salisbury, Collaboration Manager with Combined Arms. And today we have a team of people with us from Lone Star College that I'm excited to introduce. And I'm just going to let them introduce themselves, tell us about their role at Lone Star College and what they do. And I always like to tell our audience too, if you have any military background or if you're military affiliated, to let us know that as well. We like to know a little bit about you. So I'm going to start with Linda Head.
Hello. I serve as Senior Associate Vice Chancellor for External and Employer Relations at Lone Star College. You want me to tell you about my military affiliation? My father was in the U.S. Army in the early 50s. He was drafted, actually. And he went to college on the GI Bill. So I'm very proud of that. I'd like to introduce who's with me today. And first of all, Sierra Mcmahon, she'll introduce herself and tell you what she does at Lone Star College. Sierra?
Hello, so I am Sierra Mcmahon. I am the Director for Veteran Advising in the Veteran Services Department, and I've been with Lone Star about 6 years, and I've been working with veterans for about 10 years now. And my father and grandfather were in the military, so it's something that's very near and dear to my heart.
And hello, my name is Connor Sullivan. I am the Executive Director of Career and Technical Education for Lone Star College. I actually got out of the Marine Corps about 1.5 years ago and was temporarily serving Lone Star College doing veterans outreach. I served for 7 years as an infantry officer at both Camp Lejeune with 3rd Battalion 8th Marines, and then School of Infantry West in Camp Pendleton, California, and now working here at Lone Star. It's been a very good experience.
Awesome. And we also have a member of their team. I'm sorry if I'm going to introduce you, but she's not showing on screen. We have Amy Cooper with us, and she helped us coordinate the efforts of getting everyone on here today. Director of Workforce Education and Marketing, is that correct? Mm-hmm. All right. So thank you all for being here today. And we're going to talk about, they have a great agenda for us set up, but we really want to hear from them about high demand training for current jobs that are available, financial assistance available for veterans and military affiliated family members, and how veterans can take their military occupational code crosswalk, do a gap analysis and figure out how they can get some higher education, whether that's, formal education or informal, to help them improve their economic stability and find jobs. And then they also have some supporters and great community partners that also help support their mission.
Well, I think I'll kick it off. I started at Lone Star College in 1987 and was a professor in workforce education, and now have the responsibility of Veterans Affairs and program development. So I want to talk about what we do as a community college and helping people get from either unemployed to work or to keep growing within their current job. And at Lone Star College, we have over 90,000 students, 14 locations, and because of COVID-19, about 80% of what we do right now is online. And each week, we keep bringing back more and more onto campuses as we go through our sterilizing buildings and getting in our PPE and setting up our protocols for safety and that sort of thing. Because some things that we are going to talk to you about today have to be on campus. It's very difficult to be a great nurse without actually getting your hands in there and actually having patient care. It's very difficult to be a good phlebotomist without knowing how to draw blood. Yes, we have visual simulation, but some of it we just have to do. Also, I want to tell you about Lone Star College before we get into the workforce programs is jobs, our jobs, and working for Lone Star College. So I would not be a good employee if I didn't tell you that if you go to lonestar.edu and look at the jobs that we have available, you'd be surprised how many of them you might be qualified for. People seem to have this idea that you can't work at an academic institution like Lone Star without a doctorate. That is absolutely not true. Most of our faculty positions do not require a doctorate. If you teach English, math, history, government, you have to have a master's degree. But many of the programs we're going to talk about today, you might have to have a bachelor's degree, but there are also areas, especially under Connor Sullivan, where you don't have to have a degree at all. It just depends on what it is that you're teaching and what your specialty is. I can't help but have a visual aid, and what we call the programs we're going to talk about today are programs of study. And people always say, so do you have this program, do you have that program? Yes, this just gives you an indication so you can see all the different choices at Lone Star College and some of the other larger community colleges like us. You just have to figure out what is it that you're qualified to do, what do you like to do, and who's hiring, and probably most of all, who's hiring. So our process for program development, it starts with the employer. This morning, we had a 2-hour focus group with about 17 large employers to talk about transportation and global logistics. Some of you out there may have a logistics background from working in the service. We're trying to be sure that we have the most robust, state-of-the-art logistics and supply chain programs, from short fast-track certificate programs that have a certification up through our 2-year degree. And at that meeting, we had companies like FedEx and Amazon and people from the Port of Houston and people from the Houston Airport System and national transportation truck driving companies. And why do they come? Why do they show up? Because they know that we're going to put together a certificate, a certification, or a full associate or bachelor's degree based on what they need and where the jobs are. We also have labor market analysts that are scanning the market continuously. March 10th, 11th was when we were on spring break, and when we got the word we couldn't go back to school and we couldn't go back to work after spring break, we needed to have a second week. And almost immediately, maybe the following week, is when someone shared with us from the Office of Homeland Security and from the Governor Abbott's office, the critical needs jobs that had to keep going anyway. Things like truck driving, nursing, acute health care, manufacturing, some construction, maintenance jobs. You know, there were numerous jobs, IT, of course, IT. And we had to get on it, and we had to make sure that we were, one, that we had the right programs in place. And Connor O'Sullivan's going to talk in a minute about some of the things he started. And two, if we didn't have them, get them started. And three, how could we get these things on campus if they had a hands-on component to them, and how do we move them online? The last thing I wanted to mention to you before I hand it over to CR for a few minutes is about IT. Who isn't using IT right now? And do I know a lot more today than I did 6 months ago about the difference between WebEx, that's you know, a Cisco product, and Microsoft Teams and Zoom and Facebook Be Live and all these new products that we're all using to communicate with each other online. But more importantly, that those persons in IT that are behind the scenes. Our CIO, Link Aylander, is a veteran himself, and he works very closely with our department in helping us bring in the right people from the right companies to develop and modify and keep our IT programs current. You do not have to be an IT expert to start in these programs. If you do, we have boot camps also for you to get industry certification. And let me just give you a couple examples. Cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is very complex, involves a lot of different certifications and IT competencies. the smallest cyber certificate is really a year and a half certificate and then a degree, and then we now have a bachelor's degree. However, we're starting a boot camp for an industry certification if you already have someone of an IT background. Amazon Web Services, Apple coding, Cisco networking, all those things you can get at Lone Star College. And with IT and how we've all had to move everything online, Lone Star College now has 8,000 sections of online courses. Some of it's just what we had to do to keep classes moving in April. And like truck driving, we had to get a hybrid component online, but we had to also get people in those 18-wheelers and get them in the trucks. And some of it's going to stay with us for a while. We didn't realize how much of IT we could put online. We didn't realize how much theory of air conditioning and heating we could put online before we bring students into the classroom. We didn't realize how much of programming and nursing and healthcare that we could put some of the theory online before we bring students into the labs. So the real message is we have about everything that you might need. And I'm going to hand it over to Sierra to first talk about Career Star and what that tool is so that you could use that also if you're not quite sure where to go next for your next job or career. And she's also going to talk to you a little bit about some of the funding and how to get into some of these programs. Sierra?
Yes. So we do have a program called Career Star, which is always a great idea to start looking for your resume, working on your resume, building your resume, finding out what jobs are out there while you're still in school. So this is a tool that we have on our website where we work with our students to get their resume up to date. They can get market data on what jobs are out there, the cost of how much you'll get paid in this particular industry. So that's one of the tools that we have. We did purchase something else that's going to give us students a little bit more information about what's out there in the Houston and surrounding areas. So that's something that we're extremely excited about is our Career Star and just helping our veterans start planning their future while they're still in school. So that's one thing. And then we have several different funding options. We have a grant that's called Skills for Transition Grant. So that is for a veteran that is currently getting out of the military, or they're transitioning within 365 days, or they have already discharged out of the military and they're within their 365 days. And that grant can get a student up to $2,750 for a very high demand occupation. Like Linda mentioned, some of our high demand occupations are OTS, IT. That's something that students are really interested in. So that's one of our high demand programs. We also have WIOA. WIOA is a grant that is for high demand jobs as well. And some students, if you're you're out of the market or you haven't been working, that is one of the qualifications for that as well. And they'll help you pay for a high demand occupation. We have a Metallica Grant. We got awarded, I believe it's $150,000 for that grant. And that again is for students that are in, let me double check, nursing, truck driving, welding. So they are excited to award our students that are in those programs. And we are happy to have that partnership with them as well. I think that is most of our grants. Oh, we do have an OTS, Veterans in Technology Endowment, that we have here at Lone Star College, and that one can award a student up to $1,800. So we have partnered with different people to make sure that our students can get the funding that they need. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Sarah. And you are talking about Metallica, the band, when you said you got that $150,000 for...
Yes, we are talking about Metallica, the band. Yes, so that's something that we're very excited about.
That's very awesome. And thank you for sharing that Career Star resource. I added a link that I found. I'm looking at the website. And that looks like a really great resource. There are, you can take some quizzes and find out what your specialties are and help build a resume and everything like that. And that's available for anybody to use, correct? Do you have to be a student at Lone Star?
It's available for anyone, and you don't even have to be a veteran. It's available to anyone that is interested in finding out what career opportunities await them.
Awesome. So we are getting some viewers asking questions about what's considered full-time status. And I know y'all are going to go into some of the veterans benefits, so maybe you'll answer that at that point.
I can answer that now. So if they're taking a long semester, 12 hours would be considered full-time. So if they're enrolled from August until December, 12 hours would be considered full-time. So the way the VA pays is based on their start and end date. So they have to be very mindful of when they're registering for classes of paying attention to their start and end date.
All right. So what I'm hearing from both you and Linda too is that education is not stopping, whether it's going in person for that specific types of training or it's going virtual. There's a need for educators. So if you're somebody who's interested in working in higher education, there's job opportunities for that. Or if you're just somebody who's trying to go back to school, especially a veteran who can utilize those veteran benefits. Can you talk about why right now, especially during COVID, would be a good time to utilize those benefits and to go to school and get an education?
I'm going to jump in on that before we hand it over to Connor. It's always a good time to get more education, right? But right now, that extra certification, most of our programs have an industry certification connected to them. When my undergrad's in business administration, it's funny, but I had to take an OSHA class, and it's that OSHA certification that mattered even way back then. And things have only gotten more competitive in the job market. And because your resume is being uploaded into a database and being scanned by the elements of your resume, that industry certification that you could get, so taking a project management class that has PMI certification added to it, or HR, being an HR person with a SHRM certification, or being a welder with an American Welding Society certification, it sets you apart when people are looking at those resumes. And then they'll look at you. Even at Lone Star, I was an instructional dean for 5 years, and people would apply to be a history professor. We would get 200 applications for a history professor. They all had master's degrees in history. They all had some teaching experience. There's always those key things that set you apart, and a certification makes a difference. And I also wanted to add about the full-time status, part-time status, GI Bill. Ciara is the expert in that. She worked and led our financial aid department for a number of years. So people could contact her directly to ask her specifics. She's not over that department anymore, but she certainly has that experience and can get you to the certifiers. But for these other grants she's mentioning, you don't have to be a full-time student. You can be a part-time student. And 70% of our students are part-time. So you don't have to use your GI benefit if you're going to use these this other money that's available, and you can hang on to your GI benefit, for your next educational journey or for your dependents. I'd like to give Connor a minute to talk about, if that's all right, some of the COVID's particulars we've added and some opportunities that are available right now for some fast track certificate training. Is that okay? All right, we'll hand it off to Connor.
Sure. And before I start with that, I really do want to reinforce that, for example, that Skills for Transition grant up to $2,750 really could be helpful for somebody looking to get a fast certification in one of the things that Linda had mentioned. Your GI Bill benefits are based on a time limit more so than just a dollar amount. So you might be able to use one of those grants to get maybe your PMP certificate, your Six Sigma certificate, your welding certificate. and then save your benefits for when you really start at the 2-year or 4-year route, or even a graduate degree, which typically costs around $100,000. You know, those benefits might be worth $100,000 in just a year versus several thousand. So I really would look into those. But to talk to you about what we're doing right now, I run a lot of the fast track training at Lone Star College, which focuses mostly on getting you that job skill and go to work. We have, you know, a 5-minute application process. We focus on just the skills you need to learn that job and start working in that job. You know, you won't be going to school in my classes for a year. You might be going to as short as 2 weeks or as long as 6 months, depending on the certificate you take and how often you can attend class. We offer days, nights, weekends. We try to make training as convenient as possible for those working students or those students with families. For example, one of the things we're doing right now as it relates to COVID-19 is we started a community health worker program. It started out fundamentally as, if you've heard of contact tracing is a hot topic in the news, but it's at its core, it's a simple job. You're talking to people, you're getting their contacts, you're following up. What we created was something a bit more robust that would result in a community health worker certificate for this, or a license for the state of Texas, which allows you to get some better follow-on jobs, such as, for example, Harris County Health is hiring contact tracers right now at $18 an hour to $21 an hour. It lets you get a portable license that you can take after you finish maybe working for the city, working for the county. But for anyone interested in that certificate, we actually have fully paid for slots available right now. We're starting a class on Tuesday. It's fully paid along with some wraparound costs, and there's a paid externship with the city of Houston waiting for you when you graduate. And we have 2 spots available today if you want to sign up for that. And I can post some information in the chat afterwards for who you would call or the email address you would email. And if you don't manage to get those first 2 spots in time, we have another 7 fully funded spots starting on September 21st. So we're offering a night class and a day class for that if you were to be interested in learning, starting a career as a community health worker. Another thing we have is the Metallica band funding that Ciara had mentioned. We're looking to fill out our next welding cohort. If you live in the Conroe area and want to take a class on whether it's gas tungsten arc welding, pipe welding, there's 4 different welding skills we teach on Saturdays. You could get funding through either the Skills for Transition grant or the Metallica grant to start learning that skill in your time on Saturdays, and you get one of those skills every 10 weeks, and we make it portable. You can take it for 10 weeks on Saturdays, learn 1 skill and stop, or you can continue on and take some more skills. And that's kind of really how all of Lone Star's programs are designed. Whether you're taking it with my fast track programs or a Lone Star College credit certificate, you usually get a certificate after every 12 months if you're going to full-time school. So you can get a Credit 1 certificate in automotive repair and get your ASE certification, go to work in an auto body shop, or you continue on all the way to an associate's degree in automotive repair. Or we have stackable certificates all the way up to bachelor's degrees now. If you start out in computer science and want to get a cybersecurity certificate, that takes about 2 years. But if you want to get a bachelor's in applied technology, you can continue on there. That's a really popular program for a lot of our vets. Along with some of our IT certificates that we offer in non-credits, such as our A+ certification, which is your basic entry-level IT help desk certification. You can get in about, you can earn that certificate in about 3 weeks full-time, fully completed, and be ready to test. Or something like your SAP certificate, which is a human resources software. If you're familiar with things like McTIMS, what I was using in the Marine Corps Training Information Management System, MarineNet, IAPS, if you were high enough rank to get a fit rep or something like that. All those complicated personnel systems, everybody has them outside the military. And if you're willing to learn how to use, if you're familiar working with those and you want to learn kind of one of the more in-demand ones in civilian workforce, such as SAP, you can get that boot camp done. Have a hard skill where you can get hired and then let your soft skills as a veteran shine and get promoted to that senior management level I'm sure you all want to end up at. So that's about an introduction to our programs, but we teach everything. I would encourage anyone interested, go to lonestar.edu and browse our programs. We have almost 70 of Associate Applied Sciences. I offer over 40 fast track certificates there's probably something you never heard of that you might think is pretty cool. And it gets you a good salary, it pays for your family, and it's out there. And you might not know it, but if you're willing to roll up your sleeves and get your hands dirty, there's probably something in Houston that's going to pay you a great living to do that. And we teach it right here at Lone Star. And I'll pass it over to Linda for any closing comments or talk about the people that are looking to hire you right now.
Thank you, Connor. And, you know, Ciara being raised in a military family and Connor being a veteran, you can see why I love to hire someone that's affiliated to the military. So thank you all out there for what you've done, whether you're a spouse or a serviceman or woman veteran. Thank you. And we want to hire you too. And so does FedEx and Dyke & Goodman Manufacturing and the Amazon last mile drivers and all the other companies that we work with. And if you would look at CareerStar, you'll see some individual postings from those companies as well. And Ciara and her team can also lead you to those companies. They are in business. They are hiring. We met with a company on Monday that's hiring 4,300 to help build solar plants in southwest Houston and north of Houston. And there's a lot of work out there. So if you're not finding it, we can help you be an intermediary to help with that too.
So there was one last thing I wanted to hit on, and thank you all for all the great information that you've given. Connor, with those fast track certificates, I think that's awesome. Linda, you hit on something in the beginning about, you know, find what you're interested in, and I think that's what it's all about. Not only finding something that fills a need, but something that you're interested in doing, and whether that's something that translates from what you did in the military, or whether you're trying to do something totally different and new and get that industry certification. You guys have given us so much information. And I know Ciara mentioned when we talked earlier about the college credit for heroes and how she takes the military occupational code crosswalk and gets you college credit for that military training and experience that you have. Can you talk a little more about that, Ciara?
So we have partnered with College Credit for Heroes to maximize the college credit awarded to veterans and members for their training. And the goal is to shorten their time to get into the workforce. So we have already successfully done some crosswalks, and I need to look at my notes to make sure. We've done EMT, surgical tech, pharmacy tech, and some business courses as well. And what we're doing is we want to have our students come to us with their credit already established and get them out into the workforce quicker. So that's what we're working on. And we've been working with Fort Bliss and San Antonio to get these things accomplished for our students.
I want to add one more thing too. We just received another grant for a couple $100,000 to help automate that. It's so difficult to go college by college, course by course, you know, all that, going through the, you know, have ACE and have your transcript evaluated from the military. We have a concerted effort to make that simpler and automate it. So whatever it is that someone wants to go into, we can do the match a heck of a lot easier.
Yes, and that's Transferology, and we are going live on that, so that will be on our website soon. Thank you.
All right. And then Connor, you mentioned earlier too, before this call, about the 6 hours of business credits for military when they're just enrolling in Lone Star College. Can you talk about what those 6 hours consist of?
Yes, so we have it so that because we know the background veterans have, you're able to essentially test out when you enroll for your problem-solving decision-making course and your supervision course. So those are really helpful if you're getting one of our business specializations for whether it's a business marketing route, business management route. You're able to get those. We get those credits as well as 1 hour for your PE credit that you would typically need to take. So really, it's about 7 hours for being a veteran at Lone Star College. And what's also something pretty neat that we do I wanted to piggyback on because we were talking about the prior learning assessments for military. There is a tool within our Career Star portal that we talked about for resume development or job search that's actually our military selection. I don't know if I'm able to actually share my screen here, but you can actually go on there. There's a button on the bottom that asks, are you a veteran, and get started with military search. And you can type in your military occupational specialty or code and actually kind of see what we offer at Lone Star in terms of degrees that might be a good fit for you. And that's a great place, I think, to get started if you're interested in prior learning assessment or getting college credit for what you do. You can look at kind of what we already offer that might be up your alley.
Awesome. Yeah, and you're welcome to share your screen if there's anything you want to show us real quick before we get off of here. Or if you want to just give your contact information and people can get a hold of you. You guys are a wealth of information, and I'm sure we could probably talk for quite a while about everything you offer. But I just think it's so important to be a lifelong learner and to just continue your education, whether that's formally or informally. And find your fit in whatever it is that you're doing. And so Lone Star College is a great place to start if you haven't already began.
No, I would just encourage everyone, this is our tool, lonestar.edu/career services, but we have military search. You pick your branch, you pick your status, and you type in your MOS real quick. And before you know it, you might know that, hey, I never knew an infantryman might be good at being a surveyor, but we have an AAS in surveying. And if you like going out and wandering the hills, knowing where you're going with the map, you bring a little tripod out with you, you might be earning some pretty good money working for the Department of Transportation as a surveyor. So all that stuff is things you can very quickly discover that you might be able to do and that we offer right here at Lone Star.
Yeah, I love that. You get that automatic return on investment. You can see it right there, what your investment would get you. So thank you all so much for your time. And if there's anything else, any other information or ways that people can connect with you, feel free to add them and send them over to me, and I'll get them added into this Facebook Live, and we'll reach out to anybody else who has any other questions or concerns. And if you would like to get connected to Lone Star College as well, they are one of our member organizations. So you can go to combinedarms.us to fill out a profile and take some assessments and get connected to them. So thank you all so much for everything and everything that you've shared here. And I hope you all have a great Labor Day weekend and stay safe. Okay. I was going to end the meeting. I usually just end it, but I stopped the live so that way I could add this stuff in.
Yeah, if you're able to share, I don't think, I guess they're looking on Facebook, so I don't have that link to type all this information into.
Ciara, do you have your link also for advising?
Yes. Our website?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I got
So
that.
they go to you rather than a campus, hopefully. No offense to
Yes.
you know what I mean.
Let me grab that really quick and put it in there.
I thought I was on mute. My lawn guys just started coming over, so I don't know if you can hear them.
It's
My
Thursday.
kids came back in from
Everybody's
preschool right at the start of this. Luckily, I'm still muted. Or still
Ciara's
muted.
and I both have long guys on Thursday also.
Person.
My hair was sticking straight up dry. It's probably
I
gray
never
hair.
know when they're coming. They come at odd hours. And then y'all are welcome to share out the Facebook Live. If there's any you want to share it out on, you can share it out.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think they're not able to see the chat for Zoom, are they? It's just us that can see that chat?
No, but I've been pasting everything.
Oh, great. Okay.
Am I waiting for some contact information from Ciara? Okay.
Our link to our website. I can give you my contact information as well. It's on the website, but I can type it in the box.
Yeah, whatever you want me to post on the Facebook thing.
Just let me get that to you really quick.
I already included the Lone Star link.
Okay.
I'm giving you my own stuff too. As Connor and Ciara know, over any long break, I always add my own phone number to the veteran line because I don't know. I like it when potential students find me when they get stuck. I'm a
Okay.
good unsticker to help and get them to the right person if they're stuck someplace along the way.
And you're all right with me sharing that out?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I am. Thank you so much. That was really easy, and you made it easy, and you're so comfortable yourself. You don't get flustered or anything, so that's great.
Oh, thank you. You guys were great too. No issues there. Connor's a salesman. He's selling my
He is, isn't he?
certificate now.
He did. He sold that. I was interested.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, we have no. I hope. Well, I mean, so at the end of the day, I think most vets I did talk to really were going the AAS route or the AA or AS route, just because they think, oh well, I need my benefits. I want to get these now. I want my housing allowance every month, and they might be using that now. And I'm not trying to, because I'm scared you're not going to want to go to you for CR for certification, right? But those benefits. It's 12 months whether you're at Harvard or at Lone Star College. So, or it's 36 months whether you're at Harvard or Lone Star College. So maybe you use one of those other grants for now and then save those for when you get, start your doctorate. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows what the future holds.
Yeah, absolutely. All
Connor
right.
didn't want to come work for Lone Star College, and now look at him. He's
I wanted to come work for Lone Star. At a minimum, I was going to be taking classes with you because my other career is all involved with a PMP certificate.
teasing.
What, and when did you get out of the Army?
I was in the Marines. I got out in March of 19.
Okay. Wow. I got out the end of 2018 from the Air Force. I still feel like it's recent, like just
Yeah.
so. So it's
Yeah, no, it feels, I don't know, just like yesterday, but I don't know. The busier I am, the more distant it seems, and COVID has been very busy. So,
I so agree. I can't imagine on y'all's end. I know you've had to really flex and do a lot of different things too. Right now, my main focus is my kids' school with everything going on with public school right now.
oh gosh, yeah, I know. Yeah, that's got. I mean, I know I'm fortunate that my daughter's preschool started up again on Tuesday, so she's there now, and that's cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you all. And if there's anything else that you want included, you can either comment yourself, if you want to comment from like the Lone Star page, if you have a marketing person, or send it to me and I'll add it in the comments as Combined Arms.
Okay. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Sarah and Connor, great job.
Have a good weekend. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.